coming up filled with Amazon boxes. If they were going to survive, they would have to act fast to notice something strange. After much begging, they reluctantly agreed, and more. But first, this pilot was about to crash, but the passenger saved his life. On December 14, 2023, flight BL037 was on its way from Chicago to Miami, one it would never return from. For roughly 2.5 hours, everything was normal, so the pilot decided to go to the bathroom, but he just wasn't coming out. The door was stuck, and they tried everything to get it open, but nothing worked. With the ground now fast approaching, the co-pilot leaped out of his seat, ran to the bathroom, and burst through the door. Sadly, he didn't know how to read, and in his adrenaline-filled insanity, he accidentally jumped right out the airlock instead. Thankfully, the plane was over water at the time, and he managed to survive, but the rest of them weren't so lucky. If they were going to survive, they would have to act fast. But then, a hero appeared. Lando DePlane realized that the door was a push door the entire time, managing to free the pilot seconds before they crashed. This man's house was destroyed by Amazon, and you'll never guess how. Clark, a man from Ohio, woke up one morning to something shocking. It started out like any other day, but as he opened the door, his entire yard was filled with Amazon boxes. This left him puzzled, as he never ordered anything from Amazon. Not knowing what else to do, he called Amazon, and what they told him made him furious. Apparently, one of his neighbors registered his house as a package depot. Unfortunately for Clark, since the contract was legally binding, there was nothing that Amazon could do until next year. As a result, now the entire town shows up at Clark's house every day to get their packages, I guess you could say. So this post office in Owen, Wisconsin had been mysteriously losing delivery drivers to drink driving for years, and nobody knew why. But after reviewing the dashcam footage, they discovered they were drinking on the job. Locals were furious and started a petition demanding the post office be shut down. However, Pat the postmaster wasn't going to give up, and after he discovered that child labor was recently made legal again, it suddenly dawned on him, kids can't drink alcohol. Partnering up with the local school, he hired local kids to drive the mail trucks on the sidewalks. However, there was now a new problem. When the parents found out, they were outraged and complained to the police, arguing this was clearly illegal. Unfortunately for them, since the children were not technically driving on the road, the police stated there was nothing they could do.
You'd think that he just spilled his orange juice, but what happened next blows my mind. At first, he begins desperately trying to clean it up by slowly scraping it into the center, trying to contain the mess. But it's just constantly falling apart, just like his marriage, since his wife took his only working stove in the divorce. And now he was left with only an old Japanese barbecue, which he had no way of turning off. But then he noticed something amazing. That mess looked exactly like his ex-wife. So he added some cheese on top to make it look like her hair. But then he lit it on fire because he hated his ex-wife. Now he makes it every morning in hopes that Sharon will finally come back. Like if you think we should pay for his alimony.
This Tesla employee is delivering pizzas, and you'll never guess why. After graduating from the Emerald Mine, Ned finally got promoted to SpaceX. But then he made a fatal mistake. He put diesel into the rocket instead of jet fuel. As the rocket erupted into flames, he knew his dream was over. Just before he left, however, Elon Musk decided to gift him a little parting gift. His very own Neuralink chip. A few days after starting his new job at Papa John's, though, he started to notice something strange. Every day, he gets an insatiable urge to deliver pizzas to Elon Musk for free. When we asked him why, he said, "Oh God, the voices, they won't stop. Please make it stop." By Tesla. But all hope is not lost, as we have offered him a free lobotomy. That's because they unrobbed the store. Rob and his men were lost driving across town, but then it hit him. He didn't know how to drive, and then it hit him again when he crashed through the store window. Despite this, the employees were completely unfazed. They had bigger problems. All the glass in the store has been destroyed seconds earlier by robbers, leaving hundreds of millions of dollars of jewelry unprotected and vulnerable to opportunistic criminals. But by a stroke of unbelievable luck, Rob's men are actually professional glass repairmen. They get to work, and within minutes, the glass is as good as new again. As a token of their gratuitously, the clerks tell them to take as much jewelry as they like. At first, they refuse, saying that they were just doing their job. But after much begging, they reluctantly agree, promising to donate it to 6 kids in need and jumping back into their van, repairing the glass on their way out, as they leave with a smashing exit.
Never go to this optometrist. On the island of Hawaii, optometrists are now required to be certified, and it's all his fault. After moving to Hawaii from Thailand, this man named Kim, the chiropractor, is one of the richest optometrists, and it's all thanks to his secret technique. Curing or causing blindness is only 3 easy steps. By carefully massaging behind the cornea of their eyes, he can trick their brains into forgetting the fact that they're blind. Thanks to their new issue, chronic eye pain. It works 100% of the time, 0% of the time. Unfortunately, since he made so much money, all the other optometrists are now campaigning to throw him off the island, and the government has since mandated that all optometrists acquire a license. Thankfully, he has since gotten a new job over at the local police station interrogating criminals. This man just spilled his orange juice again, and now he's serving it to customers. After getting fired from his last job for stabbing a customer, his ex-wife, he realized he finally had enough money to start his own restaurant. But on his first day on the job, he accidentally spilled the orange juice all over the stove again. But as he was scraping it up to throw it away, the police walked through the door, and he had to make sure they didn't know it was him. Quickly, he threw together a pile of cheese dish and threw it on top of the fried orange juice and served it right to them. But once the police started chowing down, he realized they just found the orange juice fryer. Unfortunately for them, that chef was already long gone. Like if we just bring him to America.
This mailman delivered a bomb, and you'll never guess what happened next. Stan, the UPS man, was delivering a package one day, which would turn out to be his last. As he walked to the door, he noticed that the box was making a strange ticking, but shrugged it off, thinking it was nothing. Moments later, the bomb exploded. The homeowners were away at the time and uninjured, but they still lost their property. Unfortunately, several firefighters who arrived on the scene inhaled a lot of smoke and were unable to extinguish the fire in time, but are making a full recovery. As for Stan, he tragically lost his job since this man is a local menace, and you'll never guess why. After getting fired from his job at the local skating rink, Doug has vowed to get his revenge. When he spots people skating on the ice, he runs around and starts jumping up and down, breaking all the ice, forcibly stranding them in the middle of the river. Authorities have been forced to rescue over 100 people from the river, including many children, as Doug laughs maniacally in the distance. But the hubris of man ends up being his downfall. Last week, after leaving a group of school children stranded in the middle of the lake, the ice collapses beneath him, and he is sent plunging into the river, never to be seen again. Did he deserve it? If you loved that video, you'll like this one.